Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Tuesday, the 12th of April. Looking at the euro dollar first, and we continue to stay pretty much pinched into this tight old range on the dailies here. Now, to me, it looks like it could start shoving up, although we got the monthly pivot untouched below us. It still looks like it may want to give us a push up at some point, however. It's looked like that quite a few times. Now, looking at the 60-minute chart, and it just looks a complete and utter mess, making it quite difficult to look at which way exactly we're going. The thing that probably pushes towards the upside for me is this sort of, if you look at where the lows are, the significant lows have been rising. Of course, some of the significant highs have been dropping, of course, but just erring on this sort of, if we may just sort of see it slide back maybe to the 50 possibly, but if it starts running off this morning, well, we got a nice near-term high as a target there along with the R1, so we'll be looking for potential upside here. As you can see on the hourlies, it's not the clearest thing to read, and when you look at the shorter time frames, it's a bit of a pig's ear at the moment, so it's just a patience thing this morning. Now it does start breaking down. Well, there is the trend line that's sitting there across, a short-term trend line across here. I'll just be watching that, just to see if it starts breaking down. It may just get the sort of fake out to the 50 from that trend line, maybe a little bit further. So as to say, I think it may be a bit of a patience game just to see which way it leads us. But it is very much pinned in terms of orders between these sort of bigger levels. Okay, cable. Now the cable managed to make a decent positive day yesterday. It's run back into its monthly, almost said monthly then, monthly pivot there. It's done a little sort of bull flag here on the 4 hourlies, and well, to be fair, it looks reasonably healthy at the moment. Has got an untouched daily pivot below us, which has the potential of being hit, so we'll have to be watching this quite closely. Of course, I'll just see what happens up until 8 o'clock. If it does start pushing up though, and if it gets beyond the monthly pivot, maybe it'll be a signal to try for yesterday's highs and the maybe the R1. We have got news coming out this morning which could affect it at 9:30. We've got the CPI, the inflation figures. This is not just the CPI, but the PPI, the HPI, the RPI, and every other PI. So plenty of data coming out, inflation data coming out to let people look through. But of course, the CPI is the headlining number that people will be looking for. Get a bit of a push as I'm talking here. So I'm obviously talking it up. I'll carry on talking if anyone's along. Okay. Dollar yen, and interesting yesterday in terms of what happened here, and it's made me look like a minor bull, particularly what the government are talking there in terms of. I talked about the divergence that we had on the 4 hourlies here. Now, I was wary yesterday, and we saw this rally come in, and it pulled back most of the way. I'm starting to towards, well, we've got the weekly pivot above us. Maybe, just maybe, we could start seeing, I think we've got a monthly pivot above us as well. We could start seeing a push upwards. Part of that is driven by the fact that the government may start taking some action because they're a bit fed up at, they've been pinned down. The strength of the dollar yen or the yen is beyond where it should be when they've got negative interest rates. It's not creating the inflation they were expecting. It's not creating that. More importantly, it hasn't actually created any lending, which is the more important thing, which is down significantly. However, they're talking about doing things, and when they start talking about doing things, well, perhaps that's all they'll do these days. But when they used to talk about doing things, we used to see reactions. So it'll be interesting to see if this starts pushing upwards from a fundamental point of view. Get beyond the R1 area, maybe we could be on for something. Okay, so dollar yen, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar again, like the pound, managed up a reasonably positive day yesterday, and a bit of continuation running through from that at the moment. Although it's short term or intermediate term, we've seen a bit of a retrace. Again, we're sort of pushing on. We've hit the daily pivot, the R1. Well, maybe we could push on upwards here, but we could sort of short term going into new highs if we can break these levels. So it's having a proper correction, as you can see from the dailies, having pulled down to the weekly pivot, monthly pivot, bouncing off that. So there is the potential for it to push up to those prior highs at 77 sort of area. Okay, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, and before we do that, let's just have a, you see it's come down quite strongly. Oil's in the meantime holding up quite well. It's back into that 200 though, the daily 200. Does look like it's having a bit of reaction to that at the moment. It didn't quite touch it last time. It air kissed it on my chart this time. Well, maybe it's looking a little bit more iffy. And if you look at the 4 hourlies on oil, it's got a bit of divergence going on. So in fact, I'm going to do proper analysis, or say proper analysis, just come down to the hourlies and see where we are here as well. Okay, so we've already hit the daily pivot. Maybe that's it. We'll see. But it's very pinched in terms of the way this price action's become over the Asian session. That will give us a bearing, but it's still in some respects looks bullish. But as I say, we've got this 4 hourly divergence. I'm a bit wary if it starts breaking beyond that 34, maybe that'll be the signal to weaken the Canadian dollar. It's just run into the bringing into the Canadian dollar here. It's just run into its 60-minute 20s, 21s. It's just come out of time frame and look at the bigger time frames here. So we're close to double bottom territory on the dailies here. It's yeah, looking a bit uncertain actually now. We've been, it's such a long time since we've been to these lows. I'm going to have to switch quickly to a weekly pivot, weekly chart. Excuse my pivots though. And we do have a bit of support below us at 28.22 roughly from those prior highs there, and that low that sat there previously. So 28.20, well, 128.30 actually. So would be watching that carefully if it starts coming down much further. The moment it's, as I say, consolidating here, pushing down. We'll see what oil does. If oil does react, we could see this coming back upwards. But at the moment, it's looking quite solid for the downside. Maybe down towards that S1 at some point, but not. There's no entry for me at the moment. Perhaps if it breaks the bottoms, but that may in itself be a bit of a trap. So we'll have to watch this carefully. Okay, that's pretty much it. News-wise, really, we've already had German inflation figures come out. UK inflation figures were the most significant this morning. We got a Fed speaker, 2 p.m. this afternoon, and then we've got more speakers at, later on. 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. So the speakers are out. And there is the US monthly budget statement coming out at 7 p.m. So there is some potential volatility, or there is some potential volatility, should I say, out there, but probably much later, and certainly after I'll be finishing trading for the day. Okay, I hope you have a great one. Bye for now.